You might feel like your life is slipping away because of multiple sclerosis. Trust me, I've been there. But you can reverse that fate and regain your life. Hey, it's Steve. 15 years ago, I lived in perpetual hope that a drug would be developed one day that would cure MS. It felt like waiting for a unicorn to gallop through my front yard magically, but highly unlikely. I remember eagerly reading every scrap of MS research I could find, as if my savior was hiding between the lines of some boring scientific paper. Back then, I felt an endless ticking clock. No, not the kind that signals the end of the workday, but a relentless countdown of my own brain's decline. How many nights was I kept awake with my symptoms? More than I can count, I assure you. And the fear of the future, it was like carrying around a little gremlin on my shoulder, whispering, "This is it. You poor pathetic life. It won't get better, only worse." Sometimes I'd get this lump in my throat just thinking about the life I had before MS. It felt like my whole world had shrunk down to a tiny, sad fraction of what it once was. I kept asking myself, when will these damn symptoms leave? But you know all too well, most didn't. They camped out, set up shop, and got very cozy. It was a dark, gloomy time. I remember my dad telling me, "If you don't use it, you'll lose it." I knew he was trying to sound motivational when he said it, but I already felt like I had lost so much. How could it get worse? I relied on a walker in the house and a scooter outside of it. My eyes might have been fine optic-wise, but my vision, double vision, was my unwelcome reality. My right leg felt like jelly, and fatigue was constant, like that annoying friend who never knows when to leave the party. That's what multiple sclerosis does to you eventually, and it's a raw deal. Then something incredible happened. The kind of thing even my pessimistic brain at the time didn't expect. I set out on a mission to fight back. It was like stepping into an arena armed with nothing but sheer stubbornness and a Bowflex weight machine. Yeah. 2013 was the year my life started to change. But to be honest, 2013 felt like rock bottom for me. Every year since my diagnosis in 2004, then moving back in 2007, felt heavier and darker. Every year that passed seemed a little worse than the previous year. But in 2013, against all odds, I began working out with all my disability and all my hope. I'm an optimist at heart. There's always a little voice inside me that says nothing is impossible. But for the longest time, I couldn't see the path out of MS. I mean, logically, I knew the voice was right, but emotionally, I felt trapped in a maze with no exit sign. I believed an escape must exist. I just had to find it. Where do you even start to look for it when the path looks so confusing? When I first bought my glorious Bowflex in 2013, I was quickly reminded of the hardship that lay in front of me. More fatigue, more pain, muscle weakness, and coordination problems. Felt like my body was plotting against me. Over the years, I have often wondered if what I was doing was actually making any difference. Back then, working out often left me so drained that I avoided exercise for days on end. Weeks, even months. Still, that ticking clock in my head kept buzzing fiercely. It always pushed me back to the Bowflex. Dad's words echoed. If you don't use it, you'll lose it. And I clung to it like a life raft in a stormy sea. Years later, I can look back and see the journey all plotted out like a graph. If I had to describe my journey curve, it's definitely a J curve. At the start, the line looks flat, or worse, barely budging. Years of symptoms, disability, and weakness blurred together with minimal progress. I wasn't doing all the essentials, just weightlifting, clinging to that one thing. But then 2017 came along. It stands out as a pivotal year to me. That was when I truly felt I was onto something. Weightlifting was crucial, but could there be any more? More that could speed up this journey and tip the scales toward recovery? Well, that year, the dread of progression began to shrink just a little bit. The clock was still ticking, but it didn't feel like it was counting down to doom anymore. When I began adding more essentials to my life, my recovery hit the J curve and increased exponentially. It was like finally switching on a light in a dark room. My progress wasn't just forward, it was joyful, profound, and honestly, kind of thrilling. It's a journey that just keeps on going, and my joy in life is now infinitely blissful. You might wonder, how long does your recovery take from MS? Honestly, there's no one-size-fits-all answer to that. It depends on how long you've had MS, whether you are on a disease-modifying therapy, and your level of disability. don't forget a gazillion other questions still laying there. So the question becomes a question mark, leaning on another question mark. From my perspective, though, recovery is obvious. You can and you will get better, but it takes dedication. No excuses. Skipping a workout day, you may ask? Not an option for me. Workout days are my favorite days. It's not unusual to find me working out for 3.5 hours, burning 1,400 calories, feeling like an MS warrior freak show. Through this journey, there has been dozens of times I thought my recovery was complete, only to realize I was just getting warmed up. Each time, I shattered that illusion and moved forward. The key isn't just thinking about recovery, it's starting a routine. Because if you don't start, there's a 0% chance of ever recovering. Here's a twist you might not expect. My life now is actually better than the life I had before MS. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. MS threw me into a storm, but I've survived it. Wait, more than survived. I grew. I learned. I figured out what I'm sharing with you right now. Wisdom came from hardship. With that wisdom, I live in peace now. I appreciate everything and everyone around me. The ticking clock of MS progression, I don't see it. It's gone, replaced by gratitude and hope. The ticking clock has been dropped, shattering, and has been thrown away. If you are working out as well, how did shifting your mindset from despair to hope influence your physical recovery journey with MS? What role do you think consistency and dedication play in fighting MS, especially when progress feels so slow and so invisible? How has the wisdom you gained through your experience with MS changed your perspective on life and personal strength? I'd love to hear your answers. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss a video. Until the next one,